Well, hello there. This is Kathy Crow at the Crow Cottage, and it is a very smoky day. We are still in the fires over here on the West Coast. We're blessed to be in here in the Tri-Cities. We don't have any fires like right here, although there's probably some of them. The mountains are a 2-hour drive from us. So, hi, Andy. It's nice to see you. Maybe you'll win again today. um, Anyhow, so we don't have the threat of fire, but man, Andy, isn't the air just awful? Every morning I go out and think maybe it's a little better, or am I just getting used to it? Today, it actually seemed like, hi, Mary, good to see you too. Mary, I saw your cards on our team page. Those were beautiful. I was so thrilled that you're a Halloween girl. I love Halloween. It's fun. And I really like our Have a Hoot and the Bat one's good too. Sometimes our Halloween sets, I don't know, the last couple of years, I haven't liked them as much, but this year I really like all of them. They're great. All right. So, since some of you are coming on, I'm going to go ahead and do the drawing, and I will continue, I'm sure, to complain about the smoke. I mean, it could be worse. I am so grateful that we haven't been burned out. I actually heard that we have a family member who was a very distant one that I don't have any contact with, but lived in Malden. Oh my goodness. And they were burned out. So it's really bad. And I feel so bad for the people who are experiencing that. And then people are dying in it. Now that's not something in our state. We have fires here. This is the worst I think we've ever had. I've lived here my whole life. I've never ever experienced this. So I think there's something going on with that. And, hopefully they will manage their forests better in the future. And this is probably going to be a really good, a good discussion on how can we solve this, because it didn't used to happen like this. And this year, think about it. This is the wettest year we had for a long time. There is no drought. Can't blame it on drought. Hey, Trudy, it's good to see you. I mean, we haven't had rain in a while, but seriously, it is wet out there in the forest, or was at any rate. This is not any drought. Okay, so here we go. We will see. So I put some extra names. Trudy got an extra one. I think Andy did. Mary, I think you might have too, because you shared that other little quickie video I did on Thursday or Friday, whatever day that was. So thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. It makes a big difference when it gets shared, because, you never know who might see it that might be interested in. Oh, sound's not working again. Isn't that weird? I'm going to just check my volume here. Mine was down. Now that shouldn't have any effect on it, but in case it did, watching. All right. Okay, so we will do the drawing, and we'll, if you can see my face, I would do extra movements and, expressions for Andy, who is going by sight only right now. All right, so Trudy, you won. Congratulations. And I will get my little coupon out to you. And remember, collect these. I changed the back so that I think I did. Maybe I didn't. I didn't, but I think I'm writing it on there now. I do need people to save. The shipping and handling is pretty expensive, especially if I have to have it shipped to you from Stampin' Up. Now, if I'm having an order and I could just put it in my order and get it delivered to me and then I just send it to you, not so much. But wow, anything shipped from Stampin' Up, you know the story. All right. And Mary says you can hear great. Okay, good. So it was just Andy. I don't know. The internet's been weird too, hasn't it? So glad we don't have that wind though. Yeah, that wind was bad. Okay, here we go. I am going to do today. Oh, you're going to love this today. We're doing autumn greetings today. This is a nice big set to color. That's going to be fun. It's not going to take a long time. You actually are going to be surprised. But I also want to do textured essentials. This is a stamp set that I have learned to really love. Now, I like a lot of textured backgrounds. So, I have a very big linen stamp set, one of the big ones. So when I saw it, and I actually have a curly Q kind of one that's like this. So I didn't know if I would use this so much, but I'm going to tell you some things about it as I get going. I think I kind of prefer that to my big block. My glasses are pretty dirty. I think I have a cleaning cloth here handy. Do you mind if I clean my glasses here really quick? Because they are super dirty, and I do have cleaning things like all over the place because I get going and then realize, I can't even see out of these right now. So there we go. Now they're clean. We'll put that up there, and then I can put it away later because I think my little box I had it in, it fell down. All right, we'll get started. And hopefully my camera doesn't walk like it was last week. I did tighten it quite a bit when I was done, and I'm gonna stretch it out. I think it's because I moved it slightly, and I think because it's stretched out differently, it's tending to shift on me. So I'm gonna kind of watch it here for a minute while I try to find my page going here, and then I'll have to reload. Once you hit your Facebook page, it whatever was on there when you get to it, that's what stays. And I know new things are supposed to show up, but they oftentimes don't. But there I am. Okay, gotcha. We are there. And I think my camera's doing better today, so I'm so glad. All right, still got this host code going if anybody wants to place an order. But instead of, boy, my desk is still kind of dirty from all this gunk out in the air. I think instead of doing that, if this is somebody who's interested in joining, here's a good time to do it because you are getting this stamp set, and I'm not sure what the other one is. I kind of forget. I've set it aside and now I've forgotten what it is. But because I don't think it was this. No, it wasn't this one. But at any rate, I got this one with the French words. This is actually So Much Love, but I have a bunch of sentiments that are English, that are like this. So I thought, it might be kind of these sentiments. Sometimes the translations don't, aren't ones I'd probably use. And since I don't speak French, I had to write the translations on here for me so that I would know what they are. But my daughter took French in high school, so she might actually enjoy getting a card with some French that she might understand. It's been a long time, I know, for her, so possibly she wouldn't. So the card that we're going to do is this one. And I'm going to put you down a little bit closer because the first thing we're going to do is this background. This is the part that I use the Textured Essentials on. So I started with a piece of vanilla, very vanilla, and we're going to use the really big. I think I'm not using the biggest one. Ladies, I am having a hard time. The big one, I think, would be best on a bag because it's so big. Oh, I am using it. So today, I really wanted to. So this is a very big card. So we are using the big one, but I rarely do. And let me give you the dimensions of this card, and well, I'll just keep that out since I'm going to be using it. And then I'm also using the little label from this. Now it's called Stitched Labels. It used to be, it was part of the Stitched All Around set, so that's why I have that written on there, but it actually is Stitched Labels. I keep misnaming it when I do my tutorials. So this card is, oh, you're welcome, Trudy. You're welcome. I hope Andy's back. She might have to go out and come back in. All right, so this card is 10 3/4 inch by 6 3/4 inch, I believe. Well, actually, it's 6, and I'm doing it 6 3/4. This one was just a tiny bit bigger, but that's how big it has to be in order to use this big sentiment thing, or Celebrations die, the big die. And then the other thing I'm going to use today is this brayer. Now you can get a brayer anywhere. This is sort of spongy, but it's hard. It's not our sponge. Our sponge lays down a really nice, smooth, pretty smooth surface. and is great for blending. In this case, I'm not going to be, this is really good for blending also, but blending isn't the thing that I'm doing on this. This, I just wanted something with some patina, okay? So I actually used soft suede on this card, but today I am going to use crumb cake. I think I might like the crumb cake better. So let me put that over here and let's get started. I am going to need to use the stamp off technique on this background. So I'm going to get this piece over here going because, oh, let me get my light on here. I have another that little light, and then I didn't even, it's kind of bright, isn't it? Hopefully it's not too bright. The lighting is such an interesting thing. It either is like totally working or not, and you know, you need it like right over the top. So I can see why people put giant hooks in their ceilings and all, but I'm not doing that, okay? I don't make enough money to do alterations like that. So I'm laying quite a bit of ink down. Oh, hi, Sylvia. Oh, Sylvia, how are your fires doing over there? Our fires are terrible, so I hope yours aren't as bad. I think it's been bad like in a whole lot of places that typically get a lot of fire. Okay, now, so you're going to get some lines with this brayer, but we're not going to just stop with this. But I do want to get more of that ink off because I do want to kind of smooth it out a little bit. I don't want it to get too dark. And again, I'm just using it to put, I wanted an aged paper, oh, you know what, parchment kind of thing going. And I'm not sure that Stampin' Up! DSPs right now have any. I didn't hunt for it, and I have so much old DSP, I probably could have found one, but I thought it might be fun for you to see just one way you can use that brayer. That brayer has a whole lot of functionality to it. And if you go on YouTube and put sponge brayer techniques, I'll bet that you would see some really awesome ladies doing all kinds of wonderful things with it. But that's all we're going to do with crumb cake today. So I'm putting that away. And then because I'm using our DSP background is the Ornate Garden DSP. Oh, you are in New Zealand. That's right, Sylvia. That's right. Good. I am so glad because that is not something you want to have by you. So Ornate Garden, I like the paper a lot, but I've been really having a hard time using it because it's so busy. This side is pretty busy too, but it's foil, gold foil. It's pretty. It's mint macaron, so we're going to use mint macaron. And I'm going to use this little swirl on Textured Essentials. And they are pretty small stamps, but they have nice edges that are not perfect in a sense that they're easy to work with. You can kind of mix and match. I don't want a pattern. If I wanted a pattern, let me look back here in my stash of, I've got a whole bunch of background blocks because I collect background blocks. This is a really old one I found at a yard sale a long time ago. It's very cool. It's very patterned. When I want swirls, a lot of times I pull this one out. This is French Flair. This is old Stampin' Up. I don't have a Stampin' Up label on it, so I'm not sure what year it was. Oh, there it is, but I cut the year off, so I don't know. It's pretty old, but it has nice swirls, and of course birds are something that I always go for. So I do have quite a few of those. They're very big, and the thing about them, because they're so large, is that they're harder to give, it's just harder to do light and dark on the same image. Oh, hi, Kathy. It's nice to see you too. Good. I'm glad you can hear me. On this background, I want some darker and some lighter. So when you have your big blocks, they are handy for putting one solid color on, but I want light and dark. And I'm gonna move up just a bit more, make sure you can see right now everything I'm doing. I'm sort of using more of the surface. I'm gonna stamp off first because a couple of times, and I'm just doing it random. And by stamping off first a couple of times, I'm making sure that I don't like super over ink it right away. Now I do want some to kind of show up a little so that you can kind of see what the heck, you know, that design would be. Now you could cover in a nice, especially using your Stamparatus, you could do a really nice pattern with these too. So there, I like the smaller block. I've become convinced that the smaller block is better because you can just do more things with it. It's easier to make patterns with it. It's easier to adjust the coloring with it. And it's sure a heck of a lot easier to work with this size block than the big than the big one. I have a really big linen one. And ladies, I love what it does, but when I stamp with that big linen one, what I do is I lay my block down. Let me see if I can find it. I usually have it handy right here because I do use it fairly often. Now this one, I'm pretty sure it's a Stampin' Up! One. It looks like it is. I wish they still carried one like this, actually. It's pretty nice. But when I do it, I ink it up, and then I lay my cardstock on top like this and rub. It's tricky because, you know, you have to make sure it's an even surface. And sometimes I'll take another block that's the same size and set that on top and rub that and push on it to make sure that it's getting a nice, even, you know, pressure. And then it's the lifting it off when you've done that to make sure you don't smudge your image. That's kind of tricky. So now I can take my the die I'm going to use and see, you know, where do I really don't want all of that one showing. So this is going to go mostly under my flower, because I don't mind a little of that showing, but I don't want very much of it showing. I'm kind of like in this aged picture over here better. So let me remove a few things. And I don't need that anymore. I do need that and that. I just need to make some space so that I can bring over the cutter and we'll run this through really quickly. Oh boy. So has it been just dry? Am I the only one that's just being driven crazy by not being able to go outside? This is just killing me, ladies. And my plants, my poor plants. Oh, Jess said, oh, what's wrong with that sunflower out there? It's drooping kind of oddly. We went and looked and examined everything in the yard. And I don't know if it's the smoke or if it's the lack of sun. But all the flowers, almost all of them, well, the zinnias don't seem to mind. I don't know. The coreopsis, they don't seem to mind. Everything else has just, like, wilted just a little bit. Like, just, we're not happy. We're not happy. The sunflower's little leaves kind of closed a little bit and just drooped. It's just sitting there, you know. It's not happy. It doesn't like what's happening. And I just never would have thought the air quality would affect the flowers like they seem to. The plants, the leaves are looking not healthy either. And I don't know if it's because of all the dirt on them, but I don't think that's it, because our sprinklers go on a couple of times a day. But the parts of the plant that's the highest, where the sprinkler doesn't hit, I am suspecting that's what's happening, is they just don't like all the ash and the gunk. And I probably should get the hose out, and spray everything down really good. All right, so we've got that done. I've already cut out the cardstock so that I can just kind of get this going quickly, because we are going to take a little bit of time coloring. And so let me give you again these dimensions. This one I believe was 10 and 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then I'm using Highland Heather to just put this on the front. I am going to use a ribbon on this though. My ribbon's a little short. When I'm using I'm getting rid of the last of this ribbon. Remember this one? This is a good one. And we don't have any, hardly any purple ribbons right now. I need some. So this is the last. This is going to have to be a knot instead of a bow, I believe, because I wanted it to go double around, and I don't think that's going to work. So we're going to go ahead and glue this right onto the card front. And then normally if I'm wrapping ribbon around stuff, I just do your card base, you know, and then do your upper layers separate. Don't stick them on that card base. And then you can wrap your ribbon around the stuff you're working on. And then at the very end, you can stick it on your base card. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and just layer. Better just layer that one. And I'll stick that up aside. We will work on this one. This will go on top of that. This is Purple Posy. And then this DSP. We'll just stick this right on the top, okay? Oh boy, I hope you guys are getting some people to join you. This is a really good time to join Stampin' Up. And I think you guys are all demonstrators, so I hope you found somebody who's interested in joining up with you. This is the time of the year to do it. I feel bad for anybody who's not doing it because they're only going to want some of the stuff that's going to be continuing to come out. It's the holidays. Don't you love the coffee carrier thing? I mean, seriously, the $5 for that coffee carrier thing. You can do so many gifts with that. All right, so we're going to just go ahead and set this aside. And now let's grab out a piece of Whisper White. I think I forgot to cut a piece of Whisper White, so let's just do that really quick. Just a little slice here that I can stamp on. And we're going to do that with the Tuxedo Black Memento. All right, so if you had a chance to eat a dessert for breakfast every day, what dessert would you choose? I have really been having a cold cereal cravings every day, it seems like. Now that stamp blocked a little bit on the small side, so I'm going to get the big giant one out. And you could do your Stamparatus with this, and that would work out well, but I'll choose the big giant one. I actually could probably, is there a dessert out there I couldn't eat for breakfast? But my favorite one would be cobbler, right? It's very close to, if you had a really yummy pancake with berries and whipped cream on it, that's very similar to cobbler with ice cream. It's got to have ice cream, whatever it is. It would have to have ice cream. That's one of those kinds of questions if you are stuck in a room with some child, you don't know what to talk to them about, you could ask them that question. If you could eat any dessert in the world. Hi there, Freddie. How are you? It's good to have you back. I hope that you guys had a great time last Monday. I hear that there's some storms coming you guys' way. I hope that it doesn't hit you guys. But I heard there's some more storms headed there, and that's never good. Okay, so let me put that back. Well, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? I would never have had vanilla when I was a kid, but vanilla's actually become one of my favorites. All right, so for this card, let's come down here because we're gonna do some coloring. Let me make sure I'm getting the camera where I want you. Let me see where I am. Okay, there we go. I want you right there. All right, so
I wanted it to match this DSP. And Freddie, I don't know if you were here to see us do the brayer and do all of that. I hope so, because that's kind of a cool technique. I know that you do and you like that. But today we're gonna keep the colors very simple. So first of all, I'm gonna do this little pumpkin. Let's trim this. That way I won't ruin my Whisper White. I can always use that on the side. Our little pumpkin is going to be a white one so that it doesn't, you know, spoil anything. I don't want it to be orange, but those little white ones have just a little bit of a gray to them, and I didn't really feel like I wanted to stick any of our gray on that. So we're just doing that, and I'm putting a tiny, tiny bit of this light Seaside spray. That's my nod to gray on the pumpkin, just for some shading. Just a little bit of that. And I could put more, and it would be fine, because that actually, you guys probably can't even see that on the camera. It's pretty light. All right, now if I made an accident and put too much color on, you could just use your color lifter and that would take care of that problem. And then we'll use a little ivory for the stem. Now I really liked the ivory. It went well with my crumb cake, and on this one I used soft suede, and I really do. Oh, bye Freddie. Freddie had to go. Rain from the hurricane already. Oh dear, that's no good. So anyway, I think that this ivory is going to go better with my crumb cake than it did with the soft suede. And I just wanted to color in the leaves with this. So we're going to just do those pretty quickly here. Okay, you've got a bunch of oak leaves. So these oak leaves are more like the kind that instead of sitting on the tree and turning a lovely yellow and red and orange, they got blown down out of the tree early and landed on the ground, laid nice and flat, but turned mostly brown instead of changing any colors. That's how I'm explaining my brown leaves to myself. Because I didn't want them to be all green. There's a lot of green on this card, so I didn't want there to be too much green. And then to do your shadow, you can just go back in if you want to, but it's really not even necessary. This stamp set is pretty forgiving, and because it doesn't have a lot of shading lines, that actually means you can put it in yourself wherever you want to. You're not as limited with where the designer put the shadow. You can kind of do it where you want. It sort of gives you free license to do that. All right, let's see. Favorite ice cream in the morning. It's still, I think, vanilla, because you can put anything with vanilla, right? Vanilla. You can put it with berries. You could put it with chocolate. Now, I'm a big caramel fan. Jeff doesn't like... He doesn't like caramel because he's not a big sweet kind of guy anyway, right? He doesn't like sugary stuff so much. All right, we're doing So Saffron for the wheat. And I'm putting all of those little sticks. Those are all going to be part of that wheat. So that's why it was So Saffron. And then for our leaves, let's do mint macaron to match our background paper. So let's start with the dark mint. I want to see, how dark are you? You're pretty dark, but that's good because I'm going to do Pool Party to lighten it up. So instead of coloring all of these little leaves, I am just sort of sticking on some color. And the top ones, might be darkest. Now, I know the theory is that the closer you are to the sun, the lighter the color's going to be. When you have this many little leaves to do, that I am not going to overthink all of that. That's just that's gonna take too long. So we're gonna just be doing a lot of color rather than you know, drowning in the light and shade theory. Okay, let's do that stem. And now there were some leaves I wanted to have. I think this one I actually wanted to be green. So we're going to overlay this with green. It's going to have a little more interesting color than I expected it to. Okay, once I get my veins in, now I can use my the light one, mint macaroon, and go over that. We'll try to, not sure if I can cover up my brown too much with the light one. Might have to get that dark one out, but I think we're gonna leave the brown edges. It's kind of cool. Okay, now if I leave a little bit of white on the very edge, oh well, that's gonna be fine. Now, instead of putting light mint macaron on the eucalyptus leaves, I am going to use light pool party. And that's going to blue it up a little bit. I want this background, it's not a perfect match with our mint macaroon. And I think adding a little bit of blue is making that a little closer, but my eyes might not be the best either. It certainly isn't jarring, so you're safe either way. Whether you used the light mint macaron or the pool party, you'd be happy with what you got. I love these blending pens. You can do so much with them. And if you make a mistake, you can keep going in the color that you've now decided you prefer and correct it to a great degree. Not always, but to a great degree you can. I see I missed a couple of leaves over here on these little berries. Now, I made these berries purple, and there are purple berries. In fact, they are blooming out there pretty soon in our yard. They're beauty berries. And ours are dark purple, but you can get all kinds of different grits in the morning. Ready? Oh my goodness. See, Jeff likes grits. I tried that, and I was not happy with that. His family, his dad was born in Georgia. And so he has some more southern roots in his family, so he can enjoy some things that I am not as fond of. All right, this is good. This is Purple Posy. So we're going to start with the dark Purple Posy for this little, this is your blue rose, okay? Blue is the color of purple in the flower world. Now, as you can see, as I'm going, this is not purple. It's pink. And yet my caps are saying to me that this would be a purple color. And I'm saying back, you are not purple. You are quite pink and working great for pink stuff, but you're not purple. So let's go ahead, and I know I have Highland Heather here somewhere. Maybe I didn't get it out. Let me grab it so that you can see that Highland Heather actually, let's see, where are you? There you go, Highland Heather. The caps look virtually the same. Let's get dark Highland Heather. Okay, it's a little more purple, quite a bit more purple. So we'll put you in there. I don't really need a whole lot of you, just a little bit for some shading, just around the lines. So that's one option. You can, if you're just outlining, you can use, I've got some gorgeous grape here. Let's see how purple that is. It's pretty dark. And then I can go around my lines a little bit and position my purple color a little more right where I want it. Okay, so that is an option. Now your marker is not going to blend, so you do want to be careful with it. If you overuse it, you'll cover up all of your black memento lines. So I'm not going to use that too much. I think I'll just stick with my dark Highland Heather instead, and we'll put a little bit of darker color around the edges. I have a rose that's called Blue Angel, and it's very close to this color. It's more of the pinky purple rather than a dark purple. Now there's another one called Ebb Tide, and Ebb Tide had a sport. What was it that came off of that? I forget. Twilight. There we go. Maybe it was Twilight and then Ebb Tide. I don't remember. But I've only seen pictures of it in my rose catalogs. I've never seen it. No, I take that back. I think I saw an Ebb Tide at the Portland Rose Garden. And thinking of the Portland Rose Garden, can you believe there's a fire heading towards Portland? Oh man. All of this nuttiness is really not helping. Oh, butter and maple syrup with grits. Yum. That sounds good. Oh, bye, Mary. See you later. All right, so now that we're done with that, got our dark bit in, I'm going to do the light purple posy. And this part can go pretty quick. I am going to just avoid the tips of some of these leaves to try to keep a little bit of white in there. But for the most part, you can just kind of color once you've got your highlighting, with the darker color in. Now you can see that's not quite exact. It's close. If you want it to be a little bit more purpley, you can sneak in a little bit of light Seaside Spray, and that will purple it up a little bit. Now you do have to be careful because it can also start to overtake it. So just sneak a bit in there and see if you like it. If you do, then you can add a bit more, and then that will give you a little bit more of a purple instead of just a pink. All right, now Andy, you had a question. I saw a question about Copics, and when I was doing these flowers, I did a few of them and put them on Pinterest, and I had to sneak in 1 or 2 Copic blends because there's just not an adequate purple in our Stampin' Up! Repertoire right now. But Copic does have several, but theirs are pretty dark, so you have to be a little bit careful. In adding your Seaside Spray to this flower too, it's gonna sort of draw in your little odd pumpkin and make it seem not quite so strange. It's not so strange. Okay, that's my dark color. Let's add just a little bit of that. This is the dark purple posy. I kind of got a little carried away with my Seaside Spray there. Okay, and back to light, not Highland Heather, not dark purple posy. Where did you go? Light purple posy. I'm sure you're here. Where did you go? There you are, light purple posy. Okay. I actually wanted it pink, so I don't really need my purple. There's a little bit of that Seaside Spray. All right, now on to the next part. These little marigolds, or marigolds? No, chrysanthemums. I wanted them to have a nice flirty flamingo color so that it's pink. Yeah, I know, Freddie. I thought that too. And they have, it's obvious that some of these fires have been set by arsonists. I mean, they've been already determined that they have been, and it's very sad. So this is the dark one. I'm going to put a bunch of dark right there. And then I just did a little bit of the light flirty flamingo, and now we'll get our light petal pink to try to soften that edge. Because normally your chrysanthemum, is going to be leaning more on the orange to yellow spectrum. So there are some nice pink ones out there, though. Those are kind of new, I think, since I've been buying chrysanthemums. There's the more daisy chrysanthemum, and you might find some pinks in those, but those oftentimes aren't all that hardy for our zone. So I'm sticking with our more traditional type chrysanthemum. All right, now for the, oh, I missed one. Let's grab you right there. Get you included in the bunch. Okay, so here's another question for your friends in the child world. You know, you never know. You might get stuck in entertaining a grandchild at some point in a grocery store. And usually it's not hard to do, but maybe it's a neighbor's child and you don't know this child and they are quiet. You could ask them, which animal in the zoo do you like best? Hopefully they've been to a zoo. All right, now we do want to do those berries. So the berries were kind of, my berries out there are definitely purple. But these are going to be a little more on the pinky side. This is the light, or no, this is dark, right? No, light Highland Heather. So light Highland Heather and light purple posy. And we'll finish those berries off, and that's done. Then we'll cut this out, we'll get this on the card, and it will be finished already. It's pretty quick. Once you've got all that stuff cut out, it does make a big difference, I know. But anyhow, so we will get rid of my pens. I think I don't need those up here now. And let me put my camera up so I can cut out the flower. My favorite animal at the zoo is not the monkeys. I think Jeff really likes the monkeys, although he's a little afraid of the monkeys because when he grew up in Orange County, so they, you know, went to the LA Zoo quite often, I'm sure, and he said a chimpanzee, thankfully a young chimpanzee, because those chimpanzees are strong, and when they get old, you know, they're cranky, and they're strong, really strong. Young female chimpanzee grabbed his hair. He was close enough for it to grab his hair. So he, from that incident, is not all that fond of monkeys, but they smell. It seems like their cages smell more than the other ones. At least the ones that I've seen have been. I don't know if that was just... Oh, let's do that label while I'm right here. On white. I'm going to use this stitched label. And I see that I have a little piece stuck in there. Let me grab a pokey and poke that out. And then I can cut this label out really quick. Then I don't have to drag the machine out again. All right, there you go. Oh, that's staying in there nicely. I thought it might drop out. And we'll put this one away before I lose it. I love the pumpkins in this set. They're so cute. I do really like this set. So recommend it for you. Okay, so what I want to do, though, is I want to do a little ribbon slide in this label. Okay, so I'm taking our... Is this what I used? No. Not that. That actually is going to be on back order, I think, pretty quick, or already is, ladies. So if you like that label, that little triangle corner rounder and all, you might want to get it. This is Label Me Fancy. Has the little hole punch, which is kind of nice. I have a hole punch that's that size, so I don't need that particularly, but I like this little ribbon slide. My only complaint is that it's pretty hard to use because it's so close to the actual label. They always do these things to me. It's not as usable as it would be. Now, I might like it this way. I want to make sure some of that shows, but not all of it. So let me see which side I want my ribbon on. I'm going to want it on this side. So I'm going to just put a little hole here. I would have preferred to put my ribbon slide probably like this. But because of this punch, you know, I can only put it in so far, right? All right, so that's what we're going to do. Going to be really careful, not get it in so far. If I got it in this far, of course, my punch, my label would mess with it. But it's pretty close to the edges, so, you know, you wouldn't want to be tugging on it a lot. I would probably not send this to a kid. Ooh, that one I got really, really close. But it's going to work. I'm going to be careful with it, and it will work. There's my ribbon. I guess I can, since I haven't adhered this to the card, I can stick that together. So let me do that. Let me grab this. My favorite animal at the zoo is, let me think about this. I think I actually like the giraffes a lot. They're so calm, and I can always see them. I think of all the animals we go and look at, they are the most reliable to not be hiding somewhere where I can't see them. Okay, I don't think I need all of these, but just in case. All right, so let's stick you on here. Oh, I forgot. I wanted to put my little vellum doilies on this. I'm mainly just I'm trying to use my doilies up. I'm not finding a way to use them all that often for some reason. So, but we're going to put a little doily under there, and it's a pretty big, that celebration label's really big. And this will soften this up too. If you get it on there too strong, like I kind of did there, your little vellum doily will cover that up. And I could glue it, but I'm going to just stick a couple of these on here because it's going to be covered anyway by the flower. So the little flower bunch, I don't care if it is showing it all, it's fine. We'll stick that there, and we'll do this one here, right by each other. The giraffes are very cute, I think. I just like giraffes. So I really like that animal set we had not too long ago. Sorry to see that one go. Okay, that's going there. Very good. We're going to put this on after the ribbon, though. I do want to stick this on here, and then we'll put our ribbon slide on. And this is such a big one. You know, I'm going to use the edges because you're going to need a whole lot of dimensional on this. It sticks so good to me. Every time I use these, I think, wow, you stick so much better to me sometimes than you do to my card. One nice thing about using those edges is that the peeling of the backs is a quicker process, isn't it? You just take that whole strip off. Yay. Fast, fast. And this one, too. Okay, there we go. Oh, it was sticking to my doilies. Oh, good thing that, good thing it peeled off without tearing my paper. Okay, so we'll put this on here like this. And then we will wrap our ribbon around. That's a pretty big slide. So you can, I should have done this before I stuck that label on. You can wrap it around 2 times. At least that was my hope. Let's see. I want to wrap it around 2 times. But this was shorter. Like I said, I ran out. I'm happy to use it up since it's not available anymore, but it's sad too. I have a lot of raspberry, but not this shade of purple. Come on. All right, there you go. So we'll get that, and we'll see if we can wrap it 2 times. I hope so. If it was a fatter ribbon or my little slide was skinnier, then I wouldn't care. But with that fat of a slide, I'd like more ribbon in you, please. Okay, if you had, here's another kid question. These are great. I think these are really fun. I'm going to have to save them. If you had a robot for the day, what would you have it do? I'd love to hear what a kid have to do. I mean, all of us, we've got like tons of chores, okay? That robot is not resting. We've got tons of things for it to do, but I'd like to know what a kid would say. Maybe I have enough to do a real bow. Yay, yay, yay. So let's adjust here so that I can pull some of this in and tighten it all up, and then maybe we can get a nice little bow on the side. Oops, I tightened it up. It's too much. Need some of you back. Oh, I'm not getting it. Oh, wow. We'll just do a funky bow. Let's loop you, because I've got less on that side. So we'll do the loop here, just since I kind of have to. Let's turn the card. I'm not good at putting a loop on my left or my right hand. My loop has to be in the left hand. That's how my brain works. All right, this is a small bow. I don't think that's going to work because I'm not going to get enough of an end. So I am going to just have to do a knot. I like a nice end. I don't want it to be too short. All right, there's a knot. And then I can work on it and see if I can get a nice bow going. And we'll stick this on the back. Or on the front, I mean, put the dimensionals on the back. I wonder who's calling. You hear my phone? That's your message. If you ever call, that's what you're going to get. It's Rite Aid. You have your medications in. Yay. Okay, there we go. It is nice to have them telling me all these things. All right, so then you can adjust this. I wanted some of it over and some of it under the ribbon. And I need to save some space for my label too. There, right there. All right, almost done. Let's get our, oops, I tore it. Oh, good, it didn't tear. Sometimes this stitched label one is tough to get out. It sticks in there. So I find that if you kind of just give a tiny tug in the opposite direction, it comes right away a lot easier. Now, I love the autumn greetings, but it doesn't quite fit. It's too big, so we'll have to go with the hello there, friend. I don't think my autumn greetings will fit. See how big that is? I love it, though. It has, this is a very skinny line. And it just makes it more, I don't know, maybe elegant. I don't know. All right, we need our Highland Heather for that. Sentiment. My robot would definitely, I think I would like to have it make my food, and then I never have to go into the kitchen, and then I would never be tempted by eating things in there that I'm not supposed to be eating. So if I had one that I could say, I want to eat, you know, I would like to eat 1,000 calories a day with these foods, and then just never think about it. It just shows up on the table and at the right time. I don't clean any dishes. I don't go in the kitchen. I think I'd be better. All right, here we go. I do love, oh, where did I stick you? Oh, there you are. These, do you remember our little leaves from our Free as a Bird elements last year? I love those, so I have some of those still. And I'm using a little bit of baker's twine, just a little bit. I don't need a lot. I don't need that big of a piece. Just a tiny bit, because I want to take it apart. Now this baker's twine, this is our thicker stuff. I think it was called Nature's Twine. It was part of a pack with, I think there was gold in it, and green, and cherry cobbler, and this. Anyway, there were several colors. There might have even been a calypso coral. It's that, I don't know, maybe it's a different one, because this one's just a little stiffer than the one that had white was soft and really nice twine. This one was a stiffer batch. So it really works best, I find, if you unravel it. Because when it's this thick, it's pretty thick. It's hard to make it laid down nicely in a card. So I unraveled it. And now I'm going to just twist that end together so that I can get you in the label. We'll tie a little knot. And then I'm going to just use part of that to tie my little metal leaf on, because the hole in that little metal leaf is never gonna be big enough for all of that. So we can just take one or two and stick that through, and then we can just tie it with any of these. See, it's a little easier way to do it than if I was trying to get all of those in a big bunch. Ah, yay, Andy, you can hear me. What is your favorite animal? Your favorite zoo animal? And how in the world did we get to talking about which is your favorite zoo animal? Okay, there we go. So now our little leaf is on there. So cute. And I don't want to use up a brand new dimensional thing. Okay, there we go. Get these on there. And we are almost done. I can't believe how much faster it goes when I have that stuff cut out. But, you know, it really does make a difference. Now, you could put your doily up above it, but, you know, you're not going to see those words very well if you do that. So, voila. And then there's our base card back again. So we'll put some glue on there. I'm going to put it right on that ribbon. And I'm going to stand up so that I can make sure I place this accurately. When I'm sitting, I can never get it on there good enough. Okay, perfect. And then I can try to work. That was the only little tiny bit of that ribbon I had. So I really can't go just grab a bit and make a bow and stick on there. That's what I would do. I do have other ribbon, but it's not this color. I don't think I want a different colored ribbon. And I really do want a bow here. So help. Help, help, help. Come on. My nails are super short right now because I bit them off. Or I didn't bite them, but I bit my cuticles messing around watching TV one night. And then because I took my polish off, because it looks so bad, my nails broke every single day that I had no polish on. Every day, another nail went shorter and shorter. They were going so short. I have to keep polish on just to get those things to grow because my nails are so flimsy. Okay, that's kind of a wimpy bow, but it's going to have to do. So you can see how what a difference the doing the Seaside Spray, little light Seaside Spray on the purple, Posy Purple or Highland Heather, as opposed to no Seaside Spray. I did not use any Seaside Spray on this one. Instead, I believe I used this Copic V13, just a tiny bit here and here. That's what I used for those colors, because that's a real purple instead of a pink. So don't tell anybody that I did that, but that's what I did. And let's see if my camera's not, it's not, uh-oh. My camera's not wanting to turn. Oh, there we go. I think I'm back. I don't know. I hope so. My camera was going like, no. I think I'm on. My camera. My arm, I've tightened it up so much I can't get my arm up. My tripod arm. It's like, no. This is it. You have to be down here. I love this stuff. You never know what's going to happen. Well, anyhow, I had a good time. I hope you did too. And you are excited to, if you haven't joined Stampin' Up, you are excited to join my team. Now, if you join our team, what you saw us doing with the brayer is actually something that we will be doing coming up. There are several things you can do with a brayer, and on our team meetings, we do techniques or other fun things. Sometimes we play with the new products, but mostly I like to do techniques with our team. It's the one time we can get together and have a good time. So anyway, let's see, anything else out there? Oh, and so this is the month. If you're a demonstrator, make sure you get somebody to join you. This is a good time. They're getting 2 new stamp sets. I mean, along with your $125 for the $99, you get 2 stamp sets and you get enough cardstock and whatnot to do 2 classes with those 2 kits or something else that you have. So there's a lot of incentive to join right now that you don't get at other times of the year. So anyhow, think that's it. Pray for rain and for the fires to go away. And I will see you guys next week, hopefully in a clear, breathable environment and lighter because it's very dark. And they keep calling it fog, and I think it's just smoke. All right. We'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.